Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Taking the Lead Media Podcast, broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Oahu, playing local and independent music from here on the island and the rest of the world. My name is Onofre, and welcome to episode 107. Thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. What you heard earlier was a track from Unfair Fight. The track is titled This Is My Release, and it's a bit on the shorter side, so if you miss it, just go ahead and rewind. But the track comes from their first release, A Constant Struggle. So you know what? Actually, just go ahead and pick up the album. It's on Bandcamp at Unfair Fight. It's an awesome debut and a solid release. Well, it's a special episode today. It's an Unfair Fight themed show, and two members from the band join me here on the podcast. Pete and Scott, the drummer and bass player, respectively. They were kind enough to take some time to have a chat with me on the show. We talk all kinds of stuff. Record stores, album formats, the local Las Vegas scene, musicals, and we also touch base on the band's new album. So at the time of this recording, they didn't have an album title or release date for the new record, and this is mentioned on the episode. But they actually just released some news on that earlier this week. The new album is titled False Walls and will be out this December and on white vinyl. Stoked for that. Got to hear some new tracks, and I will be playing two new tracks from that record and a few other tracks selected by Scott on this episode. But before I get to the interview, a little bit about the band. Unfair Fight are a 5-piece hardcore punk band based in Las Vegas, Nevada. They currently have one full-length album, A Constant Struggle, 3 EPs, and 2 singles, all available on Bandcamp at Unfair Fight. A very solid band in my opinion, great aggressive tunes. I can't say anything about their live show because I actually haven't seen them yet. One of these days though, I'll definitely make it out to an Unfair Fight show. Anyway, here it is, my talk with Scott and Pete of Unfair Fight, here on the Taking the Lead Media Podcast. Wow, how's the weather in Vegas right now?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is the 5 minutes of nice weather we get a year, where it's not like 115 degrees.
Damn. At the end of summer.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bit humid down here right now, so.
Which part of Hawaii are you in?
Oh, I'm on the island of Oahu, so that's where Honolulu is, the main island, or I guess the more
the big one, the island.
Well, that's Hawaii Island. Yeah, that's the big island. Oahu would be the I guess where the capital is. So
cool.
Yeah, where everything is. Yeah, not bad. Have you guys been?
Never. That's on my list though, for sure.
Should do it sometime.
Definitely.
Weather's good right now. Not bad.
And yeah, we were in Austin a couple weeks ago, and it's like it was like 93 and 80% humidity the whole time.
Oh, dude.
It was brutal, but it was awesome. I'd never been there before, so I got to check it the first time.
Yeah, I heard the weather can get crazy there. I had a friend from college who went, or he lives there now. He said like at like midnight it'll be like 80 degrees or something. So you guys are done with the album already?
Yeah, we've been done actually for quite some time now. We recorded it a couple months ago. It's been mixed and mastered, and we've been kind of sitting on it, trying to figure out how we're going to put it out and who's going to put it out and all that stuff. We're getting kind of anxious actually.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, to get it out because it's done and we're super proud of it. So, but it's done.
Oh, okay. I saw that Chris sent me a link to your press kit. You guys got your own label going on? Yeah, Crucial 45.
Yeah, that was kind of how like everybody puts out a record,
Right, right,
and
right.
and then you think, oh well, one day we're gonna put out another record, so we might as well start this as our own little independent label. Like that was something that Dan was talking about for years. So almost like as a joke, we put it on our first CD. It's like Crucial 45 001, And then the next one came out, and then I put in 002, and then 003, and like we just kept it,
Yeah.
But since we put out all of our stuff anyway, we do all that stuff ourselves anyway. Then I guess maybe in the future, when we're all dead and buried, it'll still, people will, oh yeah, this was put out on that independent record label
Right,
that
right.
never really existed,
Oh, that's cool. Let's see, 'cause I know there's that one local label. Well, I think there's a couple in Vegas, but there's Squid Hat. You
Yeah,
know those guys?
yeah. I know a lot of the bands that are on the label. I've never met the guy personally, but I know that he's been like a nice guy
Yeah.
to us. Every time they put out a compilation or whatever, we were always asked to be on it, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
They're definitely more like a punk rock, kind of label. I don't think, like the stuff that we do is a little different than the stuff that they kind of focus on.
I see.
But they're definitely busy. They're always putting stuff out, so that's
Oh
good.
yeah. Yeah, I really like that Warsaw track you guys got on there. On the Squid at 77.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's cool. I actually like playing that song a lot. It was kind of Pete's idea to cover it, and then they asked us about that, so it kind of ended up being on there because that was about the time that we were playing it and really digging it. So yeah, it's a cool cover. We like it.
That was originally Joy Division.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
They were Warsaw before they became Joy Division, but
Ah.
they gave me some crap, or some friends of mine gave me some crap because like, well, that song came out in 1978, and I was like, yeah, but they had to have written it, in 77. They probably practiced it in 77.
Right.
So,
we found a loophole.
yeah,
so.
there's a little bit of wiggle room.
I see. Oh, right on. And then what was it? The Desert Rats with baseball bats.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah. Oh, was that originally on another release, or did you guys do that specifically for that one?
Which track was that? I have the record in the other room, but
something Revolution, I think it was called.
Revolution.
Yeah, man, we don't even play that anymore. That's how long that was.
Oh.
But yeah, I remember when we did that, and I remember when it came out that we have the Double Down Saloon is like the punk rock bar here, and they had the CD in the jukebox there.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a CD jukebox, and I went in. I was like, oh, sweet, I get to play it loud for the whole bar, So I put in my money and I clicked on a bunch of songs and I wanted to click on that song, and it was like, this CD is not playable, or this CD is restricted. I was like, are you kidding me? Never get it, man. Get a break.
Get a new jukebox, Right on. Scott?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay. I just gotta ask, are you like, how many bass players has the band gone through? Are you like...
Well, I'm not even the best person to ask about that, so we'll switch that over to Pete.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. We've had Brett, followed by Liz, followed by Tyler, followed by Scott. So it's been 4.
Oh, okay.
And then we actually had to fill in Joe for one show, and that was like right before Scott joined.
And if you want to add a little onto that, old guitar player Derek had to play bass for a couple of shows because they didn't have a bass player. So there's been a long line of bass players. So I'm just stacking their numbers right now.
And it's messed up because like I love bass. Like I like to hear bass. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand. A lot of them don't stick around very often. Luckily, around since for forever almost. So
yeah. Right on, right on.
He's sticking around.
Did you perform on the new record?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been in the band for about 2 years, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually joined. I was one of the old guitar players. I was in another band with him at the time. I played drums in that band, and I knew all the guys in Unfair Fight, and we played some shows, and they're really cool guys, and they were getting ready to go on tour, and their bass player quit like a few weeks before tour. So I just said, hey, if you guys need some help, I'm willing to like learn the songs. I haven't played bass in a band since I was in like high school, so it's been a long time. So I played on the new record, and I also played on the Warsaw track, and then everything else is pre me, other bass players.
Yeah, I felt bad for him because I knew Scott's kind of a quiet person, I think, most of the time, and I knew we're all a bunch of goofballs, and we had to go on tour, and I was like, man, this poor guy is probably, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna be stuck in a van for like, a week and a half with these guys. I hope they don't suck. I'm sure that's like going through his head.
Exaggeration of my own mental state, following a perverse static traction, leading me to a normal state. Six sense of urgency to find my way out of this hell inside my head. A constant penalty inside myself. What dream it was reality. Look in the mirror and you will see. Look in the mirror. Exaggeration of my own mental state, following a reverse static structure, leading me to a normal state. Six sense of urgency to find my way out of this hell inside my head. A constant penalty inside myself. What dream it was reality. Look in the mirror and you will see. Look in the mirror and you will see. Unlock another secret deep inside my mind. Scares and frightens me sometimes. Leads me to believe how wrong I have been and the choices I should have made.
Yeah, man. I'm really digging the new stuff. Let's see, I saw that it's a concept record. This one by So what is it about exactly?
Hit it, Scott.
Well, it's funny. I was thinking about that, and I was like, man, I wish Dan would have been on this on this little video call here.
Right.
The
best
Dan,
you can, yeah.
Yeah, no, Dan has put out a couple of his own zines called
Right.
Social Coma, and I think the first one actually came out right before our first tour because he brought him on that tour, and he wrote a short story for that, and then he I don't know if he had this plan all along, but ended up in his second zine he did a second one, and then basically in his latest one he has the ending of it, so it's like now all one story. So it's basically a story of a character who is it insane or is having trouble grasping reality, and kind of his thought process and his kind of struggle with trying to figure out what's reality and what's going on and all those things. And it's a pretty cool story.
You almost don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
You almost don't,
we can't say too much.
Sure.
I believe the plan is to have the short story come in the package with the album when it's done. So that way, the songs are actually in order chronologically as the story takes place.
Okay.
So it's actually, if you were, to follow along, I guess theoretically from, the front of the story to the end of the story, that's how the songs flow. So, which made writing the record a bit of a challenge because he didn't write lyrics to all the songs until they were done, and we figured out what order we wanted them in because he needed to make the story flow in that same pattern. So lyrics were like the last thing that happened because he had to fit it into the to the songs once they were already completed. So it made it a bit of a challenge, but we think it's a pretty cool idea, and it's pretty happy with how it came out.
Oh yeah. Oh nice.
No, I never thought about the writing process of the whole thing. Like, it's completely different than any other way. Like, usually we write songs all together. Usually it's like, here's a riff and here's an idea and whatever, and then everybody collaborates. But this time around, we kind of, it was like almost like in reverse. You know what I mean? Like, everything had there was like a system to it that we just kind of figured out. You know what I mean? Mm. And then he's like still writing stuff in his notepad in the studio, like finishing songs. I thought that was really cool. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure out these song titles.
So are we.
Lethargic, Metamorphosis. We got Perverse Resolutions, Embracing Terror. Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff.
Hidden little like Easter eggs in there, like in the song titles and stuff. You just kind of have to look at the finished product when it's done.
Yeah, I don't think we won't give that away. I think I know what Pete's alluding to, but when the album comes out, the song titles will make more sense. There's some rhyme in the reason there. Yeah. I think it'll be a little hidden secret, which I think when you stand back and look at it, hopefully people like yourself and other people look at the record and be like, oh my God, that's cool. So
just bear with us.
Yeah.
That's all we ask.
Right on. And so No release date as of yet.
No, yeah, we don't have a release date. We've kind of reached out to some labels, and we're in the process of trying to figure out, who's going to put out the record, or if anyone's going to put out the record, if we're going to put it out ourselves. Or definitely, we're really proud of this record and what we did, and we really want to try and get get it as far out there as we could. So, we're hoping to maybe not put it out ourselves necessarily, but we will if that's kind of what it comes to. But we definitely kind of put it out there, and we've talked to a few people here and there and stuff, and so we're just kind of waiting on that to see what the best thing is for the record, because I think everyone really wants to get it out as far away from Vegas as we can. You know what I mean? Not that we don't like Vegas, but we made something we're so proud of. We really want as many people to hear it as possible. So we're just trying to really figure out the best method to make that happen.
Yeah, sure. Right on. Any big tour set, or maybe next year?
Yeah. We have we want to do the same thing we did a couple of years ago, but maybe through this central U.S. or maybe the East Coast.
Nice.
So from top to bottom. That's something I've always wanted to do, is go from Boston to Florida. You know what I mean? Just do the whole thing in a week or two, and play in some of the places that I grew up going to shows and stuff. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been out, and we're all really itching to kind of get out and play. And we may kind of tide ourselves over with a little short kind of weekender. We're thinking about maybe doing San Diego, Tijuana kind of thing. We recently played with this band called Bonebreaker, who are amazing. And they've kind of said definitely, hey, come out. So we're maybe thinking about maybe doing that with maybe another band from Vegas or something. Trying to do a weekender to kind of to tide us over until we can get out and do a week or two and really kind of get out.
From Tijuana, those guys are from Tijuana. That's
right.
Awesome.
Sweet, man. That first record, Constant Struggle, I really enjoyed that one. Well, all of your releases actually, yeah. I'd say my favorite was the last one. Is it just a self-titled EP?
Flexi? Was it the white Flexi disc, or did you got it digitally, right?
Yeah. I guess the first track has Motivational Ramblings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did that on a Flexi disc.
Oh, okay.
For those who don't know, it's an old thing that you would get those in magazines. So it's like a piece of a thin piece of plastic with record grooves in it.
Yeah.
So they were having this place, Pirates Press, was doing a thing for Flexies. I was like, man, that'd be cool. You know, it'd be a cool way to like get a record out there without actually having to, you know, do all the packaging and everything. And
Right.
easy to bring with you if you're like we went on tour with it. We brought it with us, and you know, like I thought it was cool. I don't know if anybody thought it was as cool. You know what I mean? They're like, why are you giving me this white piece of plastic, this little flimsy thing? But
do those things cost a lot to make?
surprisingly cheap. You
Yeah.
got a good deal on those. Yeah, I think it was like, man, $300 or $400 for the whole shebang from start to finish. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of them. I think we still have some.
I think there's a couple floating around still.
Yeah.
Right on. Are you thinking about pressing that record on wax?
Oh, it's for sure coming out on vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100% for sure coming out on vinyl, and then you know we'll include like a digital download. Kind of obviously, I think in this year you can't not do that. So, but yeah, we love vinyl. I think we grew up on vinyl, and I know I honestly one of the first memories I have, and I still have it. I have a Fisher Price record player. Like I'm not kidding. When I was a little kid, like 5 years old, like
Right.
I had 45s. My mom would play 45s, and
that thing worked?
yeah, and I'm sure the sound quality is not the greatest, but it played records, and it's literally my earliest memories are listening to records, and that's I think what really based my whole love of music was literally my mom's old 45s and any records I could get my hands on, whether it was like the Grease 45, which I still have, or like like the E.T. Turn on Your Heart Light, you know. And I have a bunch of cool old things, but yeah, I think my love of music is honestly, I could probably say it's because of vinyl, because of my early access to vinyl. So for me, it's particularly important, but it's cool in general.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only thing where you can listen to a band, you can still like kind of hold it in your hands and read along to the lyrics, and you know, the pictures are bigger. It's just feels like something that's like tactile. You know what I mean? Like it's more than just like streaming it into your headphones. You know, it's like pretty sweet. And I heard that vinyl I think it's the number one medium for music right now.
I always thought vinyl was like the cheap format. That was my introduction to it. Like with all the local bands here, like it was either you had a cassette tape or a CD, and then you had that 7-inch. And like, because it was rare, and so I thought, oh, that was the cheapest way to go. But now it's just booming.
I think it's probably the most expensive way.
It is. Yeah.
Nowadays,
You know,
right?
Yeah, now CDs and tapes are so easy and cheap. You know, and you know, there's been a large influx in like the whole tape thing, the tape scene. I don't know what you want to call it. Last couple bands I was in were, you know, wanted to put out tapes, and I was a little bit like, huh? Like that's kind of weird, you know. We put them out, but I think the vinyl is cooler, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
So.
It's only human nature.
Unfair Fight. It's been a band just 6 years, right?
I think
Yeah,
7 years.
7
I think it's been going for a while already.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I lost track. To be honest with you, they were like, "Oh, they've been slugging it out for the last 6 years or 5 years." When they wrote a review on some stuff that we did, and that was years ago. So
I feel like it's even longer than that. I feel
Yeah.
like I remember when I first moved to Vegas, I had seen Unfair Fight because I went to go see Bane, and they had played, and I feel like that was like at least 5 or 6 years ago, and I feel like they probably were a band for a little bit before that. So yeah, no, they've definitely been around for a long time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah. I mean, you guys consistently release stuff. I mean, I wouldn't say there was a big break in between releases, so that's always good. I like to see that activity going on.
Yeah, it's weird because we put stuff out because we want to, not because like there's like a demand for it. We write songs and we think it's cool to have like this. Oh, we did this together, and then we have a record. Like it's great to sell it, and put it out there and have people listen to it and whatever. But it's just I don't know. What's that quote where it's like we do things because we're compelled or whatever. So I think that's kind of like where our headspace is. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice. That's
But, like,
that's good to have. Yeah,
and then
for sure.
one day you die, and then there's something left over. Something we actually completed.
Yeah. Oh, right on, right on. All right, I had to ask, are you a Grease or Grease 2 guy?
Oh, Grease.
Grease.
Yeah, well, we've got two Greases over here.
Oh yeah.
And it's weird too because I hate musicals, but like I grew up on Grease,
Okay.
and but from now on, there's not like really any musicals I can do. I
The
can't.
guy with the motorcycle and Grease too. Get out of here. That's stupid. I remember the bad guy in Grease too. He had like all the pock marks on his face and stuff. And that kid scared me when I was a kid.
He
Like,
he was the bad guy in Grease too, in the first Grease, right? When he had that car. Yeah.
it was the same guy. Oh,
Like
wow.
yeah, it's the same dude. I keep thinking Scorpions. I don't. That's what they refer to.
The T-Bird.
T-Birds and Scorpions and Pink Ladies.
There you go.
Yeah, my first crush I think was Olivia Newton-John. Also,
Oh, yeah?
dating myself quite a bit here, but there was that also. So.
Michelle Pfeiffer? No, come on.
I'm more of a Olivia Newton-John type of guy.
Yeah, that's garbage. Kid Grease too. Get out of here.
Oh, right on, right on. I wanted to ask a question regarding not Las Vegas, but like, which Zia records do you prefer? The one on Eastern or Sahara?
Eastern.
Eastern.
Yeah, just because a friend of mine worked there for a while.
Oh, okay.
Told me stories all the time. It's pretty funny.
I'll go with Sahara just because it's closer to me.
Closer to you? Really?
Yeah, because I live in Summerlin, so
Oh, okay.
I drive all the way across town to go to that Zia. Like that's too far for me. So it's a trek. So I have to frequent the other one.
Oh, okay, okay. When I was living in Vegas, I'd always frequent the one on Eastern, and then when I found out there was a second one, it was like on Sahara. Gave me that, so I plugged it in the GPS, and I went looking for it. I didn't realize how far down Sahara. It's like all the way up there, man.
We played a show there once.
At the Sahara one?
Yep.
Nice.
They did a little show. There was a hardcore band from from Inland Empire somewhere in California called Black Bolt.
Oh, nice.
They went on a little tour and they came out and we played with them in Zia Records, and it was like people started slamming in in the record store, and like our singer's wife got mad at these kids. It was like it was the weirdest show. It was a lot of fun, but it was definitely weird.
Oh wow, that's cool. The one on Eastern's got that stage though too, right?
Yeah, it was like a little riser that we played on with all the T-shirts and stuff behind us. It was pretty neat. It was a good time. But the one on Eastern, like the guy would tell me like he worked in the morning, and like early in the morning, there'd be like lines of like crackheads like trying to sell their like CDs, and they get like 50 cents or whatever for each CD, and they come in with crates of them.
Really?
So
Wow.
you don't have like a ton of new music just because people like need to find money to cop dope or something, man. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, I figure, yeah, the one on Sahara seems more I would say safe. It, as opposed to Eastern and the Flamingo.
But yeah.
How do you feel about the music scene in Vegas right now?
That's you, man.
It's interesting, you know. For me, I've been in Vegas for maybe like 12 years, but before that, immediately before that, I lived in the Bay Area, so I was extremely spoiled by the access to music that I had. And I lived in San Jose, so I was close to Santa Cruz, where I saw so many good shows and so many good bands, and I was close to Berkeley, and I was close to San Francisco, and there were like nights where I had to decide like which show I wanted to go to because there were so many good bands. So, not to hate on Las Vegas scene, but it's not the scene that I'm used to. It's not the scene that I'm it's definitely a small scene for sure. I don't think it's as it could be. I think if everyone could get together a little bit more, it could be a little bit better. But there are definitely still a lot of good Vegas bands here. But I think trying to get people to come to shows and trying to have a venue that has shows consistently.
Yeah.
Like at least an all age show, there's the dive bar and there's the beauty bar, which has shows, and they have some cool shows and definitely played there. But having all ages venues that are consistent has been a challenge, which may have affected the scene here. So
it also goes to show you that there's a lot of people that do those things that put together those all ages venues.
Yeah.
They just it's a bunch of guys with some hammers and nails, like building these little warehouse spaces to make things happen, and they're not getting anything out of it. They're not making money off of that stuff. Like they're doing it because they want some place to go. They want to offer some place to play for these bands that they like. So it's like sometimes it kind of sucks when there's not as much of a turnout as you'd like. But at the same time, it's like, man, there's a lot of people that are like kind of unsung heroes around here, who's still doing it, and they don't have to.
Right.
We could easily say, oh no, we'll just play at bars.
Yeah.
And say to hell with it. But I don't know.
Yeah, when I was living there, that was 2010, 2011. There was a lot of shows at the Bunkhouse. I'd always see flyers for. And I went to the beauty bar a couple times. And usually Double Down I would go to. And it was always those weekend shows. But yeah, there's always a ton of places to go. But I feel like with all the bands that I wanted to see, there was always those odd places. Like, can't remember the venues. Well, usually it'll be a bar gig. So,
man, we played like Eastside Joe's. Remember Eastside Joe's? Did you ever go to there?
I've heard of the place. I've never been there though.
That was the spot for a while. It's basically like a small old house in the middle of a vacant lot that this guy owned, and he's like, no, I want to do shows in my house, and you literally play in the kitchen, and like the living room was a half pipe,
Yeah.
like, and like I don't think there was any running water in the place, and
nope.
No.
But we got to play. I don't know if it was probably the last band before Unfair Fight, but we got to open for Chris's favorite band.
Every Time I Die?
No. Shit. Wilhelm Scream.
Oh wow, nice.
At that place, you know what I mean? Like the Subhumans, I think, played there. Or Citizen Fish played there. Like house in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Just it happened.
Oh, nice.
What kind of music are you listening to right now?
A lot of local stuff here on the island. Antimatter, pretty cool punk rock stuff, kind of skate punkish. Yeah.
That's awesome.
The scene here is kind of I don't want to say divided, but like everyone's friends here. So like it's a lot of people playing in other bands, or like one guy playing like 5 different bands. So it's kind of like the hardcore scene, and you got your I want to say indie rock scene,
Oh wow.
not the hipsters or
I always
hipsters.
wondered about the like music scenes on islands.
Mm.
I always wondered about when it's hard to get to another state, like the evolution of the music in that area, like it probably is different than what would happen in like on the mainland. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
but you have to do your own thing and kind of maybe there's like a different vibe out there than in other places.
yeah.
Like I have friends from like Puerto Rico or friends that are from like the Caribbean or whatever. They like they're in bands and they're trying to do their own thing, and you just see like a different kind of attitude towards what they're doing. It always interested me.
Yeah. I feel like there was like I want to say like a lag of like certain music reaching the islands, maybe in like the mid 2000s. But now it's easily accessible now, so it's like we're current. I feel like with I guess what's in, but there are patches of bands who were I would say ahead of its time with regards to what was I guess underground on the mainland and underground here.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Hawaii is also more of a ska reggae state.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I can see how that was the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, but we do have our fair share of good hardcore bands here and progressive rock kind of stuff. So
Nice.
it's all good.
I think didn't Agnostic Front play there like not too long ago
Over here?
in Hawaii?
Probably.
Huh.
There was this one band here. They're like a big metal band. Like I feel like they're almost regulars, and I can't think of them. They're a pretty big band too. I want to say it's hate. I want to say Hatebreed. Like
Hatebreed?
yeah,
Hawaii?
like they're like regular almost at one point, but they haven't played in a while. I think it was Hatebreed. Real Big Fish likes to come down here though.
I know I would if I was in a big band and I could afford to go play in Hawaii. I would make sure
Yeah.
that was either the first or the final stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which fun.
I think it was the Melvins. They did a 50 state tour where they played in all 50 states, and I think Hawaii was the last stop.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Their tour manager is genius.
Yeah. They definitely owe him one.
Right. So I don't know if it was they hit up Alaska first and then they came down to Hawaii.
You imagine?
I can't imagine playing. I wonder what the scene in Alaska is like.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Right. I know. Right. Anchorage.
One
I can
day.
only think of Anchorage. The only place I can think of.
Let's go. We're playing Alaska. Juneau. Let's go.
You know we're going to Alaska?
Juneau.
Gino.
Get it up when it's all about. Do or not, get them a day down. You never learn to goddamn breathing. Come on and go out. Get up out your seat. Put a book on your feet. Then it will get to see what happened. You'll never know until you try. It's time to go, go get a die. You'll never know until you try. It's time to go, go get a die. Don't collect on your whip. Never know how good it feels. Front time right, that tail's fight. Come on, man, let's ride. You'll never know until you try. Come on, man, it's time, it's game all done.
Yeah, we want to do that too.
Hawaii, Japan, South Korea,
Yeah.
uh,
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. I've heard there's like a big hardcore scene in like Malaysia.
Like Singapore or something, right?
Oh wow. Yeah,
Like-
I've seen bands. Yeah, hit up the Malaysia scene.
Like the Southeast Asian thing is like, it's tight out there. Like those guys are going for it.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
I think even the Philippines are starting to do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Scott, you were in Thailand, right?
Yeah. And then
yeah.
I went to Thailand last year, and then this band we played with called Strengthen with Remains, who's awesome. I know I follow them on and their singer Josh on Instagram, and I talked to him last time he was here, and they played Thailand, and they played like all those countries, and they said it was awesome. So yeah, love to do that.
Nice.
Yeah. Write that down for sure.
Have you guys played in Canada?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'd like to. You know, the furthest north we played was Seattle. It's the closest I've ever been to Canada, besides New Jersey. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I never got a chance to go there. Actually, no, I was in Maine when I was a kid, but that's the closest I got.
Yeah.
Oh, right on. Yeah. Appreciate you guys' time, taking time out to talk with me.
Oh man.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys like to plug?
Just the record.
Record
soon, man. I'm really happy with it. We're all really happy with it. Paul Miner recorded it. It sounds amazing. I don't know. I'm not good at saying good things about myself. Pretty self-deprecating, but this is like one of the few things that we've done that I can honestly say that we're like proud of. Like I'm not ashamed of anything that's on that record. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess if people want to follow us on our Instagram, we obviously have an Instagram and a Facebook, and we have a Bandcamp, and we're on iTunes. So if they're interested, definitely could follow us there. That would be cool, and then they'll know when the new record comes out. That would be cool. We definitely appreciate anyone who wants to give us a listen. Would be awesome.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd say one of my favorite biggest bands for sure, and definitely one of my favorite bands overall. Your tracks are slamming, I gotta say.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, cool.
And don't be injured.
Right on. Well, cool, guys. Well, yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Have
Cool.
a good day. I'll let you know when the episode's released, and you want to check it out.
Yeah, no, definitely let us know what's up with that. We're going to check it out.
Good. Awesome.
All right. Have a good
Cool.
day, guys.
Yep. All right. Later. Bye.
Revolution, live brother, watching you, live brother.
right, that is it for this show. Thank you for tuning in. The last track was Inferior Future, another new one from the upcoming album False Walls, out in December. For more details about that album, do check out the band on Facebook. Search Unfair Fight Band. They also be on Twitter and Bandcamp. Thank you again to Scott and Pete for your time. It was definitely a good time and a fun chat with those dudes. And be sure to keep an eye out for that new album. Yeah, False Walls. Looking forward to hearing the rest of the new tunes. I'll have links posted on this band on this podcast website, takingtheleadmedia.com. You can also stream past episodes on there and check out my on and off ramblings and some music reviews. If you like what you heard on today's episode and what I'm doing here, please do me the favor and rate and review this podcast on iTunes. 1 star, 5 stars, any feedback is helpful and appreciated. I'd be very grateful for that. This be an Apple podcast, and be sure to tell a friend about the show, or they might find their new favorite band on a future episode. And do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit me up on Twitter at TTLM Podcast with any comments, questions, feedback, music recommendations, submissions, or just to say hi. Love the interaction. Of course, you can also direct all of that to my email along with any general correspondence to takingtheleadmedia@gmail.com. So this recording took place before the shooting massacre that happened in Las Vegas at the beginning of the month. The dudes in the band were safe from what I've been told, and my family and friends were fortunately not affected too. I was happy to hear that. Some cool benefits were put together since then, which is awesome. A Vegas Strong compilation was released earlier this week by the people at Punks in Vegas. Proceeds go to the UMC Foundation, Las Vegas' only Level 1 trauma center. People are still recovering from that event, and so if you're seeking any kind of help, support, there are resources. Just simply search Crisis Response on Facebook, and they'll provide links to related to the incident in Las Vegas. And people are always posting on places to go, and people are always offering any kind of help in the Las Vegas area. Lots of people doing lots of good things. Or feel free to contact me and I'll do my best to point you in the right direction. Next episode, some hardcore and punk tunes sometime next week. So please do check back. Once again, my name is Onofre and I'll be signing off until the next Taking the Lead Media podcast. Thanks for listening.
You brace and squeeze and take me. Your broken love. So much I can't control it. I try and tell my